What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Noel. In today's video I got a banger for you guys. So if you follow me on social media, you notice I'm someone that's big on always learning, whether it's somebody that's a top producer, real estate agent, or somebody operating a level I want to be in my life as an entrepreneur, even in real estate, as an investor side, and also as a real estate agent as myself. And one of the things I learned from most successful entrepreneurs is that the average entrepreneur reads about 60 books a year, believe it or not. And the average American, studies show, actually reads only one book a year. So right next to me, I got a pile of about 10 books, and plus I'm gonna give you a bonus one for you guys as well. So I got something special for you guys today. These books now just not solely on real estate, it's also a mixture of everything. So it's going to be a little bit about real estate and building yourself as an individual. And then, like I said, there's a bonus book as well that pertains to you, your business, and your brand. Now, this doesn't only pertain to real estate. If you're someone that is interested in being your own business person, or running a business, or entrepreneur, whatever your goal is in life, these books could actually help you out. I've always learned I don't only focus on just being a top producing agent and always just studying just my scripts or listing presentation. That's all good and all, but I always tell every brand new agent and someone who may not be brand new but just struggling to focus on yourself as well. Don't solely focus on trying to sell people or find the best script and master that. You need to build confidence. That's the first thing. If you don't believe in yourself, your scripts is going to come out horrible. You're always going to be nervous, and like everything else, with time comes practice, comes failure, comes improvement. So I am big on focusing more on the seller, hence myself as an individual, as building my confidence and my knowledge up to standards that I want to operate in the future, in 10 years from now, and see myself doing that in today's current market. So let's get into it. Now, this is not from best to worst, to each his own. I have so many books. At the end of this video, I'm going to post a picture of all my books to kind of give you guys an idea. It's a mixture, like I said, of everything as far as real estate and self-development. So number 10, we're going to start here. The Millionaire Real Estate by Gary Keller. I'm pretty sure you guys seen everybody talk about this book. I know some people call it the Bible of real estate. I actually recommend reading it. Yes, it's a bit outdated. From my understanding, he's coming out with a part 2. I don't know if it did come out yet, but I know he was, from what I heard rumors, that he was coming out with a part 2 to keep people up to date. But I highly recommend any new real estate agent, or if you've been in the business for a year or two and just feel lost, read it. So much insight. I am a big believer on the old school methods such as cold call, door knocking, running ads, SEOs, etc. Yes, I grow my business off of social media and generate leads like that and referrals, but I'm always still doing the footwork. Once again, you want to build that confidence when you're cold calling, or if you're knocking on a random door, bumping into somebody in the street. You want to have that confidence because you're already hitting all fields that a lot of people try to avoid. They think going on TikTok and dancing is the way to generate business, and really that's not the only way you should do it. So definitely recommend this for number 10. Number 9, Grant Cardone, the 10X Rule. I don't really have to go into detail with him. If you know Grant Cardone, you know he's the man. That's somebody I look up to as far as how I want to be and operate his level on like 100-unit building and more in different locations. But it clearly self-explanatory. Do everything big. If you're going to go big, go home. Like for me, my goal right now, I was one of those people that has short-term goals, which I still do, but my goal for me is just to make $1 million a year in real estate. And some people may say that sounds crazy or far-fetched a little bit, but at the end of the day, I see if you have a big goal and you always working towards it every day, you're really never going to feel like you're failing, because you're always trying to outbetter yourself every year. And in this book, that's pretty much what he talks about, is aiming for big. If you're going to cold call, don't just do 5 cold calls a day and feel like you did work. Nah, screw that. Hit 20, hit 30, hit 40. Like, go big, go home, 10x that shit. So Grant Cardone, definitely recommend this book. Number 8, Personality Setting by Albert J. Valentino. Now this book I kind of struggled with a little bit. Reason being, it wasn't difficult, it was just so boring. And I know it sounds crazy, but like in real estate, we do the things that we don't want to do but it has so much of the high rewards when we take that risk on doing it. And this book, I highly recommend reading it, Personality Selling. So if you know a little bit about NLP, neuro-linguistics, personality, like, guys, this book teaches you so much. Yes, a lot of people say it's a little contradicting, when it comes to speaking to people and how to hypnotize them. I have once or twice, I'm going to say, caught myself having people do things that I was doing. So for example, like if I do like this, I'll see the prospect when I'm in a listing presentation do like this, or if I do like this, they do like this, like as if I'm hypnotizing them. Now, I don't recommend you try to do that stuff, because really you're not going to get far in life by trying to hypnotize people. But this book is so good to me because you get to understand the type of people you talk to, meaning people who are auditory, kinesthetic, visual. Like, you have different ways of understanding people, how to communicate. And in real estate or in sales in general, communication is big. Yes, we know the rule 80-20, 80% you listen, 20% talking, but that 20% goes a long way. And if you know how to effectively communicate with somebody, you'll do fine. So definitely recommend reading this book. I tried reading it 3 times. The third time I got like 90% completed, but I'll swing back around in the future. Now, the next 3 books I'm going to go over with you guys is kind of self-development. We took care of some of the real estate to kind of help you guys motivate you guys a little bit. Now, let's get a little bit about yourself as an individual. Like I said, I'm big on developing myself and confidence, and I recommend you guys doing the same thing too. So, The Monk Who Sold His The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robert S. Sherman. I highly recommend reading this book. Long story short, it's about a lawyer who was a successful lawyer, pretty much top notch, and he went through like a midlife crisis. And the person who you're going to be reading about in this book is his ex co-worker or assistant, I believe it was. And one day, the top lawyer just breaks down. His cases go from like top notch to everything. He loses his marriage, he starts drinking, loses his car, and he just goes MIA. A few years later, he appears back at his ex-colleague's job, I believe it was, and it just pretty much to show you how you appreciate life. I understand in real estate, we're so focused on trying to do what's best for our customers at the end of the day, whereas a buyer selling, sometimes we always on our phone and trying to work 24/7, but at the end of the day, it's really not healthy for you. You need to find that balance in life, and that's what this book talks about, and it gives you so much symbols that you could use as far as like Buddha and all that they go into. And I just highly recommend you read this. Like, this is one of the books I read. This is actually my second book I read after my number 1 book. I'm gonna go with you guys that some of you probably already know, you follow me on social media, but definitely recommend The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. One of my favorite books to this day. Alright, next book we have here, The Power of Habit by Charles Diggs. Like, the title says itself, The Power of Habit. If you know, developing a new habit or skill is something not easy. Our minds, when we're at a bad state or come up from a certain living lifestyle, it's kind of hard to reprogram. They say in order for you to develop a habit, it takes about 90 days to see that habit just transition automatically and just becomes a daily routine. I highly recommend this book, especially in real estate or just in business. Like, we don't prioritize the things that are supposed to be more effective, like dollar productive. Like I said, everybody wants to be on social media, dancing on TikTok, posting $1 million homes. That's really not going to generate you business yet, I'm going to say. As a new agent, you need to put down on a piece of paper, like writing your stuff down. That's definitely thing I do, which is a new habit that is not easily formed but takes time, but also just helps you out a lot. So Power Habit, recommend doing it, recommend reading it, and doing what the book tells you. Like, it will actually help change your life. It has helped me. I read this book at least 2 to 3 times a year just to kind of refresh my memory. Alright, number 5, we got Rhinoceros Success by Alexander and Dave Ramsey. So I highly recommend this book. My mentor, Adam Doctor, who has helped me out so much, I seen them post this book online, and he is somebody, like I said, has helped me out. And after reading the first few pages, it just gave me chills. Like I said, This book is a must read, just with the other two books as far as developing, and especially in sales. It's a numbers game, and sometimes when deals don't go according to plan, or you're relying on that check and you feel down, you need to have that tough skin like a rhinoceros. And it has a lot of metaphors in here that just, it paints a picture when you read each chapter, each line. It just makes you want to read more and more. And as you can see, it's pretty much a short book, about 100 pages. You could literally bang this out in 2 days, 50-50, if you have enough time. But definitely recommend getting this. You gotta always keep your mind straight on track, never looking left or right, and just keep charging like a rhinoceros and just keep running straight. Always keep your eye on the prize, and always have thick skin, and just never look sideways. So highly recommend getting this. Now, number 4, let's bring it back to real estate. How to invest in real estate. As a real estate agent now, you're not only solely focusing on buyers and sellers, you're going to have investors. Even yourself, hopefully in the future, you want to know how to invest in real estate. So I'm pretty sure you guys heard of Bigger Pockets. If you haven't, look them up. They're pretty much the kings of investing in real estate. They have Bigger Pocket Podcast, YouTube channel, Bigger Pockets. I spoke about this book before. If anything you want to learn about real estate, this has so much to talk to you about. People's stories of what they've been through, how they came all those obstacles. They talk about how people from bigger pockets helped them out. This is by Brandon Turner and Joshua Durkin. So reach out to look them up. You can even reach out to them too. They have a website. A bunch of amazing investors. If you have questions ever, there are people there that can help you out. I follow the website. I'm actively on it as well. Definitely recommend this. As real estate, you want to know all aspects. And let's be real, guys. The number one source, one of the number one business, I'm gonna say, people have, not number one source, one of the number one business people have to generate income is real estate. If you look at successful people, they average about 6 to 10 incomes per month, and real estate always happens to be the common one thing a lot of people say. So definitely recommend reading this book. Number 3, managing rental properties. I can't stress this enough. A lot of people come to me, Noel, I want to buy a single family home and just rent it out. They think it's that easy. And I just started reading this book yesterday again, and I picked up some stuff that I didn't catch the first time. That's why I recommend reading all these books 2 to 3 times a year if you can. But definitely recommend reading this book. The reason why, and it might not seem important, but you gotta understand things take time, and these are people who's been doing it. This is also by Bigger Pockets. I highly recommend getting this book. It will help you so much on how to become a landlord in general, and just make things a little bit easier. Now, we know in life things aren't easy, but with these guys and their system and how you could qualify potential tenants, how to set your business up for success and not failure, this is a go-to thing, pretty much a guide, and this actually works. So check it out. All right. Number 2, so it's going to be back to business with a little personal development. One of my favorites, Rich Dad Cash Flow Quadrant. Now, for anybody who's been following Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad Cash Flow Quadrant, you have employee, self-employed, business, investor. This book I highly recommend. Most of us usually start here as an employee, then work our way down to self-employed, hence real estate agents. Then hopefully try to go over here to business, owning our own company, or doing a little bit of everything. Me, pretty much, I'm an employee, self-employed, working on my way to business, and as well an investor. These are the 2 sides you want to be, and it teaches you how to get from employee, self-employed, to business to investor. At the end of the day, he says none of these are wrong. You whatever makes you feel comfortable, but find out where you want to be, what makes you happy and comfortable in life, and where do you see yourself. Do you want to stay on the left side of the quadrant? And if you're happy with it, then stay there. If not, then jump on this side. And in this book, it teaches you how to go from point A to point B. And we're down to number 1. This book changed my life. It really did. Long story short, I was in a rough patch about 3.5 years ago. 4 years, I want to say, at most, before I became a real estate agent. And let's just say I came across this book and I'll work on a video what happened that put me into this book. But Rich Dad Poor Dad, number one, I read this book in 2 days, believe it or not, and it has changed my life a lot. It made me understand life. It made me feel like I was living life wrong, and if you read this book, you know what I mean. But this book has made a major impact on me. This is something I will give to my stepdaughter, my daughter, to read when they at that age where I feel they need to be reading this, which my stepdaughter will be very soon. But my daughter, who's only about to be 2, she got time ahead. But definitely read this book if you haven't. I'm pretty sure you heard about it though. Read it, Rich Dad Poor Dad. It will change your life. This one I'm definitely not going to spoil you. It'll make you understand life, pretty much how life works, and we've been living life wrong pretty much thanks to the school system and how we grew up. And it's people like us, my generation, to pretty much continue rocking this book and spreading the message around. And like I told you guys, I had a bonus one. Now this is same guy. He is also my real estate idol, and the reason why I want to do this as a bonus, this is optional, but I do recommend you follow somebody you want to be like in real estate. Now this is message pretty much dedicated to real estate agents. For me, it is Ryan Serhant. Both his books I recommend. Reason why Ryan, I say it's a story behind it, but I love how he is, his brand, his energy, his vibe, and everything he has done in his business, and I want to be doing in my business in the next few years as well, even writing a book or two like he did. But also I want to put this in here because if you haven't heard his story is just amazing from what he done in his career, and pretty much this is like a good stepping stone, I'll say, for new agents to read, of how he struggled and knows what it is and knows how it feels to get that first big check when he got his first $2 million deal, which was like a $27,000 commission. And he learned a lesson that day from his father, to him doing one of the craziest deals, flying to Japan for like a crazy $1 million home that he didn't have no contact with the buyer, and how he went from that to scaling his business, and what you need to do to put yourself in that mindset and have that energy to keep growing and taking even greater risks and not holding yourself back because of what's going on in the market or your personal life. So I do recommend picking up these 2 books, Sell Like Serhant and Big Money Energy. You guys won't be disappointed, and even if it's not him, find somebody you actually enjoy. I'm pretty sure if you follow Josh Altman, the Altman brothers in Cali, I'm pretty sure they have a book. I know Frederick Eklund from $1 Million List in New York, he had a book. That's actually a book I need to get as well, because he is like the #1 top agent and broker out there that's done a crazy amount of deals with Douglas Elliman at that time. So yeah, guys, find somebody actually you love, enjoy, and see what they do. And for me, is Ryan. I try to study everything he can and just do a twist of me. But anyway, hope you folks enjoyed this video today. If there's any books you have in the comment section that you think I should read, please leave them below. Like I said, don't only focus on trying to develop yourself as a sales person. You gotta also focus on developing you as an individual. Build that confidence, be knowledgeable, and be humble at the same time. Don't be afraid to take risk in life. Put yourself out there. If you really want it, you got to get in. The #1 thing is always learning. Always be a student. It's like my favorite motivational speaker, Les Brown, was told, you're never too old to teach, and you're never too young to learn. And I can't say that enough myself. I'm always learning. I'm always reaching out to other agents like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? I would love to sit down just to hear you cold call or follow you on the door knock open house. Some people think it's not going to get me anywhere, but like I said, I'm a firm believer in always being a student and learning. And if you're not putting yourself out there to learn, you're really not going to learn. Watching YouTube videos could get you so long. At the end of the day, reading books could do the same thing also. But if you take the time to learn and then apply it to your method and find out what works for you and what gets things start rolling for you, and then go along with it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.